Okay, so welcome back. I'm recording this right after the last list, so let's continue on to from numbers 40 to number 31. And let's start with number 40. That was number 22 last year, and that is Nations the Dice game. Again, one of the coolest light games I have. I just really like the small history touches here and there. The artwork is okay, I guess, kind of a goofy, but kind of a like cute still. And I just really like the custom dice, and you can get the dice you want and try different combinations of them. And it's a light, quick game, and not any high strategies or anything, but just every time I play it, I really enjoy it. I played like 25 games of it or something like that, and a cool, quick dice game, Nations the Dice game. Number 39 was actually number 25, so a bit of a drop again, due to one game higher on the list, but a classic, Bonanza. And this is a game I've owned like 10 years at least or something like that, and I've played like 100 games of it total maybe, or something like that. And every time I play it, I notice how much I really like it. But again, sadly, just like Seven Wonders, I really don't get to play it. I haven't played it this year at all. Basically because there is no good two-player variant of it, and the other groups I play it usually we play other games or stuff like that, and even my family is kind of like burnt on it because we played it like 50 games in like a few years back in the 2005 or something like that. So that's why it's dropped a bit and stuff like that. But if I now had three people interested in playing this, I would jump at the chance to play Bonanza because I just really like it again. And then we are on to number 38, was number 34 last year, so pretty much at the same place again, and maybe should be higher. I just played 4 games of this again in the last few weeks with one of actually a pretty new player, my cousin, and he actually fell in love with it also, and in games in general again, and was actually thinking of buying it. But this is a co-op game with a heavy history theme, and that's Freedom, the Underground Railroad. Again, a more history and puzzle for me, very hard co-op game with a history feel and a lot of history behind the cards and all the things, and it just feels right and just and enticing. The board is magnificently beautiful and big and just looks awesome, and the actions and the game is simple and yet hard and still has many choices and many things to go wrong and do wrong, and just really like the game. It's very challenging, especially if you turn it to the hard versions of the game, and the solo game is very I still haven't won the solo game. I played 2 solos this last week, and I both were like within a round, like few actions of winning, but still managed to lose. So a great game, Freedom, the Underground Railroad. If you like co-ops and history themes, you will love the game. Okay, number 37, another co-op game that was number 20 actually, so quite a drop actually. Maybe again because I haven't played it that much, but that's Forbidden Desert, one of the best light to medium light co-op games I know. I actually sold my Forbidden Island. It's a good game, but I think this is better in all ways, all the ways I can think of, and I think you can still start with this even with beginner gamers. So that's the reason I just had no use for Forbidden Island, because this breaks Forbidden Island for me. And this is a game I really enjoy. Even heavy gamers enjoy it, but I have played it with many new players, and pretty much all of them have really enjoyed the game, and many have bought it after it and just really liked it. And again, anytime I will be glad to play Forbidden Desert. Of course, this is the top 40 already, so all these games are cool. So keep in mind the 1 rank or 10 ranks drop doesn't really mean anything, except that at the current date I was doing that. Maybe I hadn't played it in a long time and kind of forgotten it, so keep that in mind. Okay, number 36 is actually new to the list, even though I did own it last year when I'm making the list, but with the top 50 I just didn't have a spot for it, so it comes actually pretty high on 36, which is cool. But that is Fresco. And I remember I played like 1 or 2 games before last year's list, and I really liked the game, but I wanted to play it more and didn't want to put it on the list yet. But this is just a great game. I now have the latest big expansion and the Bishop's Favor, but I'm still looking for the Glaciers expansion. Haven't found that anywhere yet, so I still want that one, and I haven't actually played the latest expansions, the 8, 9 and 10 modules. Well, latest, they are not new, but the latest ones of them. Basically you are painting the fresco, maybe of the Sistine Chapel, and you can do different things, especially with the expansions and the modules added. You can really plan ahead and do different things and focus on different areas by painting these portraits, or trying to get few of the like harder paints and make one or two of the very big fresco pieces which are worth a lot of points, or then you can focus on getting points here and there, and it's just a cool wake up track on when you go to the market and which paints do you buy, and just all around a great game which has worker placement which is hidden, kind of like dungeon bets, so that you place your workers behind this screen and then you reveal them, and just all these things are cool, and it's just a enticing game to look at, and just the feeling you play it is just like a chill out, even though when you add all the modules it becomes quite a medium heavy Eurogame actually. So Fresco is a winner. And number 35, new to the list, Shadowrun Crossfire. This is a, well, I wouldn't really call it deck building, it's more like hand building or I don't know what to call it. Because deck building is basically just reacting to what is needed now, not that you want to get cards that combo 7 turns in the future. You do want that, but it's the game is such a punishingly difficult game that if you start by collecting things you might need along the way to get this perfect machine, you have died 10 times before you get there. So you really have to focus on what's important right now and get those cards if you can. Yeah, so I played this 2-player with my girlfriend like 30 games or so, and we have lost like over half of them. We have slowly progressing through our characters by getting some karma and getting some abilities. I think we both have 2 stickers now, but pretty low level ones at that even. But the more I played, the more I like it, and yeah, it's been a few months I guess since the last game, so really should get it back on the table, but it's punishingly difficult. If you can get the first expansion, the high caliber ops, that really ups the game in many ways. You get a lot more like missions and more cards and more abilities, but also brutal missions and really tough decisions. So if you like deck building games and like very hard co-op games with cards and I don't know, whatever, in a steampunk universe, get Shadowrun Crossfire. I just really like it. Okay, 34, again, new to the list. Heavy box, and that's Viticulture. I have the Essential Edition, and I just got the Tuscany Essential Edition, so I have pretty much everything there is to have for this, but the old Tuscany had a few more things that are missing from this one, but from looking at it I don't think I'm going to miss them that much. And I also got the more visitors that are made by Uwe Rosenberg, so there's a lot of game in the box. Well, basically you are tending these vineyards and trying to trying to complete these wine orders, or you can focus on doing buildings or whatever you want to do, and actually, especially with the Tuscany expansion, you can really go out of your way to do different things. For example, I played with my girlfriend last week, and like it was like 5 rounds before I actually planted my first vine on the fields. But I was constantly doing points from different things. I had the tasting room, and I just got some cheap grape from somewhere and made a cheap wine and gave these tours to get 1 point per round, and many different buildings and structures and taking the actions that give me points, and it's just a different combination of things, and until I was able to actually find some wines that I could actually plant, so I could actually start making some proper wines. But it was cool, and there's just almost infinite possibilities in the game. Especially after you have the Tuscany and the more visitors. The visitor deck is like this big and has like, I don't know, 80 cards, 100 cards or something like that, and everyone is unique. So there's a lot of game in the box. A medium heavy Euro game that is just a delight to play. I guess the only problem might be that this game could suffer from sort of a runaway leader problem, but I think there's enough cards that might actually get you up quickly, so that's not big of a problem. I remember one game with my one of my sister's boy actually, and I was like 6 points behind after like seeing that next turn he will probably end the game, and that was before the Tuscany, and I was like, I have a lot of things, I can make a lot of points, and he was like all tapped out, all the wine, everything was sold, so if he had actually pushed to the end, he would have won, but in the end, next round, I got like 9 or 10 points total, and I surpassed him with like 3 or 4 points, but he did manage to play a few cards, get one easy wine contract or stuff like that, and managed to tie me in the end and had a bit more money than me, so he actually still won. But that game was just awesome and just a cool example of the cool things in this game. Okay, so then that was Viticulture, my number 34, and number 33 is actually also new to the list, but it kind of replaces my number 38 from the list, and that is Secret Hitler. This is actually my print and play copy. I think it's going to be available here at some point, so I will probably hunt down a proper copy at some point, but I do like it. I've actually laminated all the cards and all the things and used sleeves for them and printed them on harder like carton, and then put some contact sheet on over them, and so it's cool edition, I think. And this is the game that it replaces is Resistance. I do have Resistance, and I'm not planning to get rid of it, at least at the moment, but I just like Secret Hitler a bit more at the moment, at least. I still haven't played it. It's more like maybe 8-10 games or something like that, so I want to play it more, but so far I've really liked it. I think this just has more things going on from the beginning and more things that can happen quickly, and in Resistance there are sometimes games that go in a landslide either way. Of course this can also end like the first turn, well, not the first time I guess, but almost, and stuff like that, but so far Secret Hitler beats Resistance for me. Okay, number 32, actually new to the list. That is Codenames, or Codenames Pictures. I have both of them in this box, they actually fit here nicely. I actually don't know which I like more, I really like both. I didn't think I would actually like the pictures, because I was thinking, how can I actually give good clues for pictures? But I really like that the grid is a bit smaller with pictures, 1 row less, so it's 5x4, and just the pictures are so cool. They are these weird pictures that have a few things going on every time, so it's just a brilliant game. But I do like the word play and play on words when you are giving clues and trying to figure out this cool like clue to give that ties these weird words together, especially in Finnish. My version is Finnish, of course, the Codenames basic version, and Finnish is a language that has one word could have like 10 meanings or 15 meanings, I guess. So in Finnish I think it's even cooler. I can't really compare it. I haven't played it in English and probably won't, because I don't really have groups to play in English, and or the English version even. But in Finnish is like a weird language for those that know that it's just the words are just a jumble of mess and can mean everything. So that's a weird thing in Finnish, I guess, and really works in Codenames. And my number 32, Codenames. And I think this is the only one on the list, pretty much. And number 31, that was actually number 31, and that is Friday. And my solo game that I just absolutely love. I played like 70 games of this now, and a cool small deck builder that has many difficulty levels that you can make it harder, and just a crushingly brilliant and addictive game. Usually I play this like 4 or 5 games in a row because I just can't quit until I get a good game. And I think my win percentage is maybe 10-15% on the highest level, if not even less. The basic levels are manageable once you learn the game and understand it well. I think you can actually win the lowest level at least 60-70% of the time. Of course, that's just out of the top of my head, but I think so. But the harder you get, the more interesting it becomes, but also it becomes crushingly hard. But if you have some moments when you are thinking about alone, what should I do? Should I play like with a deck of cards something, or just play something on your phone for 20 minutes or something when you are sitting somewhere? Have a look at Friday. I think you won't be disappointed, because this works like 20-25 minutes maybe per game, and this even works for me at least as a bigger game, because of course I usually want to play it like 4 or 5 games in a row, and once it's set up it's pretty easy to reset everything and start over. So Friday is a winner, and I just really love the game. Okay, so that was number 31, and only 3 lists left. But thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye!